Welcome back to English Spark, the podcast that helps you learn English one spark at a time. I'm your host, Mia.
And I'm your other host, Leo. It's great to be here with you all.
It is. So, Leo, how was your week?
It was busy, a lot of work, but good. How about you?
Same here, which actually brings us to our topic for today. We're talking all about work and jobs.
An excellent topic. It's something everyone talks about. When you meet someone new, one of the first questions is often, what do you do?
Exactly. Your job or your occupation is a big part of life. So today, we will learn lots of useful words for different professions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get started.
Okay, let's start with jobs that help people, the helpers in our communities. For example, if you feel sick, you go to see
A doctor. Or you might see a nurse. They both work in hospitals or clinics.
Right. I remember when I broke my arm, the doctor was so kind. She had the title doctor before her name, Dr. Evans. She made me feel much better.
A good doctor is so important.
For sure. And what about your teeth? If you have a toothache, you visit a dentist.
I don't love the dentist, but they are very important.
They are. Okay, another helper. At school, who helps a student to learn?
That's an easy one. A teacher. We are teachers right now in a way.
I suppose we are. And to keep our towns and cities safe, we have the police officer.
Yes, and they often wear a special blue uniform, so you can recognize them easily. Many jobs require a uniform, like a nurse or a pilot.
Okay, let's switch from helpers to creators, people who make art and entertainment. For example, a person who writes books is a writer.
J.K. Rowling is a very famous writer. And a person who paints beautiful pictures?
That would be a painter. Leonardo da Vinci was a famous painter. We can call both a writer and a painter an artist.
Yes, an artist is a general word for a creative person. It could also be a photographer, someone who takes beautiful photos.
Or it could be someone who works with music. A musician plays an instrument, and a singer uses their voice to make music.
If you could be a musician, what instrument would you play, Mia?
I think I'd be a singer in a jazz band. How about you?
Definitely the guitar. I'd be a rock star. And, of course, on the big screen in movies, we see an actor.
Right. An actor has a very public job. They have to pretend to be other people. It seems difficult, but fun.
It does. Now let's talk about a very common place to work, the office.
Right. Millions of people work in an office for a company. A company is a type of business.
Inside the office, you have your own space. You have a desk, probably a chair, and a computer.
The computer is so important for modern work. You use it to write reports and to email your colleagues.
That word, email, is a verb and a noun. You can send an email, which is the noun.
Or you can say, email me later, where it's the verb. Exactly.
Now, every company has a structure. The person in charge is the boss or the manager.
Right. The manager leads the team. All the people who work for the company are called the staff. Each person on the staff is a worker.
The staff often have a meeting in a special room to discuss projects. I spend a lot of time in meetings.
Me too. When you first enter an office, you usually meet the receptionist at the front desk. They greet every guest and customer.
They do a very important job, and a secretary often helps the boss. They might answer the phone and take a message or type a formal letter.
Right. It takes a lot of people to run a business. A man in this world is called a businessman, and a woman is a businesswoman.
And everyone works hard to earn money. But don't forget to take a break.
A break is essential. Okay, what about jobs that don't happen in an office? Jobs where people use their hands to make or fix things.
Of course, if your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic.
A very useful person to know, and someone who designs and builds big things like bridges or new technology is an engineer.
Yes, to become an engineer or a doctor, you often need a special diploma or a degree after many years of study.
That makes sense. These are difficult jobs. Many things we buy, from phones to clothes, are made in a factory.
And what about food? In a restaurant kitchen, you'll find a cook. If the cook is the head of the kitchen, they are often called a chef.
Right. And out in the dining room, a waiter or a waitress will take your order. The customer is the person buying the food.
And this applies to shops, too. A shopper is the person buying things, and the shop assistant is the worker who helps them.
We also have the cleaner, who keeps all these places tidy, and the driver, who might deliver goods or transport people.
Okay, let's have some fun with other types of occupation. Someone who works with soil and animals to grow food?
That would be a farmer on a farm, an incredibly important job.
Absolutely. How about in a pharmacy, the person who prepares medicine?
In the UK, they often say chemist. It's a specialized job.
It is. Okay, thinking about travel, who flies the big airplanes?
A pilot. I always wanted to be a pilot and see the world from above.
That does sound amazing. Or you could be an explorer, discovering new jungles or ancient ruins.
An explorer sounds like a lonely job sometimes. Maybe I'd prefer to be a tour guide. A guide gets to meet new people every day and show them interesting places.
A good guide gives clear instructions, like meet at the bus at 10 a.m.
Very true. Okay, sports time. A person who plays football is a footballer or a football player.
And someone who plays tennis is a tennis player.
Right. And who helps them get better?
Their coach. The coach gives them a strategy to win.
Excellent. And what about the person who reports on the news?
That would be a journalist. They might work for a newspaper or a TV station. They have to be good writers.
And my last two are from history. Who was the male ruler of a kingdom?
A king.
And the female ruler?
A queen, like Queen Elizabeth. I actually know a few more jobs to share with our listeners. For example, if you work in a pharmacy, you can be a chemist. In the UK, that is the person who gives people medicine.
Right. And in sports, the team often has a coach who helps the players improve and win games.
Yes, a coach gives instructions and supports the team during training. Sometimes special guests visit companies or schools. A guest is someone who is invited to a place.
And in history, we learned about a king and a queen. They are royal leaders of a country.
That's right. And to become a doctor or engineer, you often need a diploma or a degree after studying for many years.
Excellent! Now we have truly covered almost all the important work vocabulary. I'm going to update my personal diary with all these new words.
That is a fantastic idea, Leo. We've learned so many words today about work and jobs.
We really have. We talked about your occupation and where you might work, like an office, a factory, or a farm.
We met lots of people, from the secretary at their desk with a computer, to the mechanic who fixes cars, to the artist who creates beautiful things.
Don't forget the teacher, the doctor, the waitress, and the police officer. So many roles that make our world function.
It's true. The main thing is to find work that you enjoy. A job is a big part of your life.
Absolutely. So our challenge to you, our listeners, is to try and use 5 new words from today's episode. Maybe you can write a short story about a businessman who meets a famous singer, or a tour guide who was also an explorer.
I love that idea. Be creative. Thank you so much for joining us on English Spark.
We'll be back next week with a new topic. Until then, keep practicing. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.